Welcome to Ravenovah. Please go to my channel, also the notification bell, like this video and share. Welcome to Conversation She Speaks, where a transgender woman is trying to help the sisters stay out of the ground. We're tired of our sisters being murdered, and she wants to share her experience and try to help another girl from being killed. Her ways may be different, but her ways are very important, and I do believe every girl has a history and a story to share. Share this video where you can, like this video, and here is a girl that's trying to help keep our sisters the best way she can from being murdered. Share and like this video everywhere you can. I created this channel for people with different support those who support you. There's a PayPal on top. People murdered. One thing, there are a lot of times people can't send in the truth, but you find one that does support them. Make sure they do not fall within a marginalized community as not being in existence. And you know that there are hard to find people that create a channel that cater to people who are different and stand in the truth. And the allies sit back and say, well, I have no problem with other people. Let me just stand in here and learn support those no judgment who support you. I love you. Stay in your truth. Okay, and welcome to the second edition of She Speaks, where I speak to the girl in reference to helping another sister, in reference to trying to help keep our sisters alive, and have another girl here that's going to share her story, her life, and living. Another sister that want to share different things and different ways of keeping our sisters alive. Hello, sister. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine.
And thank you for coming on YouTube for this recorded line. I want to ask you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks. Okay, I want to ask you 13 questions, and I appreciate you taking out the time for doing this little interview in reference to helping our sisters behind, because like you, we are tired of our sisters being murdered. Now, okay, the first question would be, are you on hormones?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you think a woman has to be a woman of trans experience? Does she have to be on hormones in order to be a trans woman?
No.
Okay. Are you full-time?
Yes.
Okay. What are the things you love about being a two-spirit woman?
What I love about being a two-spirit woman is the fact that for about 30 years of my life, I was living as a boy, even though deep down I knew something in the day that I got here, people treat me very differently. And I love the fact that I figured it out, that I transitioned, and it was a very easy transition for me. It was difficult, but easy.
I'm getting sis, I'm getting a little bad. Sis, I'm getting a little bad. Is it like a certain area? Because it's like going in and out.
Is it cutting out?
Like you're talking, but it's like going in and out.
Okay, let me move to another area of the house.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, sis. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you sound great. Beautiful. Can we try it again? Right. It says things you love about being a trans woman.
What do you want me to start again?
Yes, could you please? I appreciate it.
The part about being a transgender woman?
Yes, the things you love about being a transgender woman.
I love that after 30 years of being kind of confused, I was doing great to God. I figured it out. I got transitioned. It took a long time. It wasn't a quick transition. It was a very 10-year process, which should have not taken that long. But I got it. Finally got it done. I got, as much surgery as I could get. The judge approved it, and my name changed, my gender changed, and everything. And it just felt good that I was being recognized by an institution as a female, and that I can live my life freely in the state that I live in.
Okay, thanks for that. And what bothers you about being a transgender woman?
What bothers me about being a transgender woman?
Yes.
That's a hard one. Like, I can't really say I'm bothered per se by being trans, because it was what actually saved my life. I think what bothered me was pre-transition because I had no clue that what what transition meant. Like there was no definition for it. And so I was going through life thinking that I was a gay man and being told that in a very derogatory way from as far back as I can remember. But when I finally was an adult and out and about in the world and around gay people, they didn't embrace me as a gay. They kept saying I act too much like a girl. I was too girly for them. So it made it very difficult for me to, find comfort within that terminology when I wasn't being embraced. So I thank God that I met a girl who was trans, and she kind of pushed me in that direction. Said, "Look, you're a girl. You're not a gay." And I was grateful for her because I had never heard the word transgender before. It was the first time I ever heard that word. And I thought about it for like a couple of days, about a week or so, and it really started to click in that, they were trying to be transitioning for the last 30 years. So I think that was the hardest thing for me, not transitioning, but pre-transition, because I had no clue.
Okay. And let me ask you this. How was you treated with your family?
Prior to or during?
As a two-spirit woman standing your truth, how do you feel they treat you?
It's been a journey. Some have embraced it and others have not. And we all tolerate each other, those that are in my life. I can't say it's been a smooth acceptance, but with time people can change. And I thank God because I really didn't think that they would really come around, but they really have. And I have to say that wow, time really does change people.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
How about your friends? Have your friends treated you different since you became a two-spirit woman?
Sadly, I would say 90% of my friends walked away. They're no longer in my life, and I'm not angry with them. I wish them well. They were in my life for a purpose, and I still hold deep love for them, but they couldn't accept me as I am today. So we have to say goodbye to each other, and it's unfortunate. Some of my college friends, they couldn't accept it, and we had to say goodbye to each other, and I haven't talked to them since, and, it is what it is. I'm alive, and that's the most important thing.
The thing about it is when you transition and stuff and people leave you, to me, my personal opinion, that's God clearing out all things that was not good within your spirit. And if you're a positive person, God has a way of making things happen. And when you share your truth, it'll clean everything around you that would have been blocking your blessings. So at the end of the day, if they don't love or appreciate the gift that God sent the earth, which is you, to us, then clearly they wasn't supposed to be in your life. How about the job?
And my job?
Yes. How did people treat you as far as your job?
Well, back in 2001, I worked in the theme park, and my boss found out through a friend of mine that I was in transition. She started to come on the work site and inspect my hair to see if I was growing my hair out. Kept sending her supervisors underneath her to come to me and tell me to cut my hair, and to the point where I had to do a face-to-face with her, and it didn't go over well because she kind of was very vicious. And I went to my doctor and asked my doctor, what should I do? And she gave me a doctor's note to give to her. And I gave her the doctor's note, and she was so angry, like I could just see it in her face, like she turned red like a beet. And she gave me a pamphlet for the women's stuff and everything, and what I have to do, this and the other. And the next day as I came to work, I was being told that I can no longer work in any work location other than one. I had a bathroom that was I would say almost a 10-minute walk away, and I was, outside in the park. So I had to walk 10 minutes to a bathroom. The breaks were only 20 minutes. So you can only imagine, I was getting no break at all. And it was and it was a very hot location. Like outside, it was very hot, summer hot. So by me being told I couldn't work in certain locations, that affected my money. Like I couldn't make overtime, I couldn't work any other shifts I had. The most minority of all the people at that area, she gave all my seniority away to new hire people.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized I'm not going to be able to pay my bills anymore. I'm going to have to give my house up. I'm going to probably lose my car. I'm going to lose everything because she fixed it to where I can't make any money.
Wow.
And that's exactly what happened. I ended up putting in my 2 weeks notice within a year and having to walk away from a job that I had had for over 10 years and had worked my ass off to be able to afford a house, my first home, and a car, like a really nice Jeep. I had a 97 Jeep Wrangler with the soft top.
Yeah.
And it got repoed. Like everything went away after I tried to save my life. Like I literally was doing this to save my life, and my boss got jealous because she was a very jealous type, and she basically, ran me off the job. I put my 2 weeks notice in. She had gotten fired by that time, but those people in place behind her would not undo what she did, so I still ended up leaving.
Wow.
It was hard. It was very hurtful. It was hard even to this day. It's been a long, 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 long time. Many moons, but it still hurt. Like the hurt is, because I love that job. I absolutely would have never left that job had it not been for what she did.
Yeah. I like to apologize to you for what they've done to you. God sees all things and bigger things for you to come. Now a fun question. How do you like the way your hair? You like the natural or do you like the wigs?
In the beginning, I really did not want to wear my natural hair because the type of people I was around really frowned upon natural hair, so I was very self-conscious about wearing my natural hair. I was always perming my hair and straightening my hair and wearing wigs. I did both because I braided my hair a lot and I wore wigs. So I did a little bit of both, but I never wore my hair out and about, like dressed up as a girl or whatever. I would always put wigs on.
Oh, okay.
Because I felt more comfortable doing it. Now, because I've gotten older and I just don't give a damn, I went back to my natural hair, and I colored it like a blonde color.
Okay.
And it started kind of like my nerves got bad, so it started kind of coming out in places like little bald spots and stuff.
Okay.
And I realized it was my nerves, and so I'll probably, because I'm going back to work soon, I'll probably go back to wearing wigs at work, or either putting a blonde ponytail in, like put the hair up in a ponytail and put a blonde ponytail in. And I just do a little bit of both. Like I like both actually. In the summer months, I do prefer shorter hair and shorter wigs and stuff just because it's so hot here. But in the winter months, I love long hair and stuff like that. So I love wear wigs that are really long in the winter months. I'm a weirdo, but that's just the way I've done things.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What would you tell the girl behind you that don't know quite the rules or what to do as far as her transition, and she's secretly following you because she kind of adores the way you're moving? What would you tell her to help her in transition that she does not know?
I knew from the day I was born that I was different. I was being treated differently from the time that I could kind of understand adult conversation. And I heard someone when I was very, very young, before I was like probably maybe, I would say 8 or 9, say that I was the F word. It was one of the boyfriends of one of my aunts. And he was kind of a low life type, but I didn't understand what he was talking about. Like he kept saying that little boy is going to be an F, And I cried because I know they were laughing and I didn't know what they were talking about. But then as time went on, more and more people were starting to verbally abuse me, like people at the school, people who shouldn't be singing in certain circles. And it just got worse and worse until I was a teenager and I started contemplating suicide. My mom got involved and intervened and was like, if you're gay, just don't kill yourself, And I was grateful for her, but we had that conversation because that saved my life that time. And it just got very difficult. I ended up leaving high school. I graduated early, like I was 17. And I ended up going to college at 17. I was not prepared for adults attacking me verbally. It happened again. It was hard, but I hung in there and I graduated. And all this time I knew that I was a very soft, girly type of boy, but I didn't have a lingo for transgender. I just never heard of that. I'd seen it. When I lived in a little small town I was from, I didn't even see hardly any gay people or nothing. Like, I just didn't know much of anything because there was just no cable TV. There was like, Little House on the Prairie and, like stuff like Good Times and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I just had no idea about really gay culture or anything. And even when I got to college, I got into theater. I still was a little bit clueless. There were gays around, but very hush-hush. And I could, kind of see boys liking boys and hearing rumors, this and other, but I still didn't have no identity with that. And so even though I was being pushed until I was gay or whatever, and secretly shunned and stuff like that for, AKA gay, I didn't have a connection with my body like that. I didn't have a love for a boy body, not, touching a penis. And I had 3 older brothers, so I know what boys do, when they're alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Touching themselves and all that. And I didn't do that. That wasn't my situation. I never identified with it, and I didn't want it on my body. When I first got hair on my body, I didn't want hair on my body, so I'd shave it off. I'd take my sister's razor and shave my legs. And I was doing this at 13, 14 years old. So, my advice to you is don't listen to anybody. Listen to yourself. Don't try to follow anybody. If you feel confused within yourself, that's okay. It takes time to figure out what's best for you, and there's no one way to do anything, because one thing I've seen just with all of the girls that I've encountered in my life, they're all different. Not one of them are the same. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's situation is different. Some of them had a very hard transition. Some of them had a very easy transition. And so there's no one way to go. There's no time frame. I was 30 years old before I even got diagnosed as trans. I spent my whole life, not knowing what the hell was wrong with me until I was like 30 years old. And I was on the verge of killing myself when God placed a trans girl in my life who I didn't know she was trans. She just came from Mexico. It was a boyfriend. Her boyfriend was a coworker of mine and saw me out at a nightclub and introduced me to her and said, "Can you be friends with my girlfriend?" He didn't tell me anything about her. Just told me that was his girlfriend, and she could hardly speak English. I could speak just a little bit of Spanish. And in about 2 days' time, she just flat out said, "You're a girl. You're not gay. You are a girl." And I was just shocked. I was like, "What?" And she told me, "You're trans." And I was like, "What the hell is a trans?" Like, I had no clue. And, she talked about it. I took about a week to kind of mull over it. And I decided, like, after a week that I would go see a doctor and get tested to see if there was any estrogen in my body, because there was just too much growth in me that I couldn't undo who I was. And so the doctor tested me. A week later, she came back. She goes, "Yeah, you're going to have an easy transition." And she goes, "We'll just start you on hormone blockers, get you, start your, go see a shrink, the little psychiatrist that they send you to, so to make sure you're okay to transition." And they started me on the pill, and I started taking the hormones and the blockers, and, the rest kind of backtracked what happened at my job, and there you go. And then after that, I won't say it was smooth sailing, but it was easy on my mind because I realized I made the right choice, and I figured it out for myself. And I thank God because I was on the verge of taking pills and taking my life. And, that's just not an option. When you can have your freedom, you can have it. It just takes time. There's no reason to rush anything. If you're in a situation where you can't, but you can still live vicariously, through us. We're all out here, and one day you'll get there, little by little. Eventually you'll get to where you need to be in your life, even if that means removing yourself around toxic people and getting around people who can support you, and that takes time.
Okay.
So I hope that this helps.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. And the next question is, are you happy?
So what did you say?
Are you happy in your transition?
I'm more than happy. I'm just flabbergasted at this point that at my age, because I'm 52 now. I'm not saying to say it, but
okay,
things have gotten a lot better for me. I mean, I fully transitioned about 3 to 4 years ago. I think that's when I legally got the papers in my hands and all of that. So that portion of it is new to me. But I've been since going on 20 years, I guess, trying to transition.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a journey. It's a long journey, but it's a happy ending for me. Like if I die tonight or tomorrow, I have no regrets. I would do it all over again and again and again. I walked through that fire 1,000 times to get to where I am today. And that's why I tell any girl, don't ever give up on yourself, because I was so close to giving up. But God stepped in. I can't credit anybody else for it but God. If you don't believe in God, whatever your higher being is, your guardian angel, your, something higher than yourself will step in and make things happen so you don't ever give up.
Okay. And the next question.
Mm-hmm.
If someone wanted to be with you, what would the perfect man for you be in order to make you happy, that would complete you as a woman?
I think the main thing for me is it would have to be a man who is secure within himself. He couldn't be a toxic person.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be fairly mild-tempered, and he would have to be an educated person. Not that uneducated people can't be mild-tempered, but I've been around, I've seen a lot. He would have to be a younger person, younger than myself, because I'm attracted to younger guys, like at least 10 to 15 years or more younger. So I don't care the age, pretty much, as long as you're over 25, I guess.
Okay.
It'd have to be someone who will support me and accept me as a female. Like, just completely allow me to be a girl. If there's one ounce of him that he's a man or anything like that, then we won't be together, because there's no boy here.
Okay.
So
my last question to you, Miss Beautiful, is there a certain race or ethnicity that they would have to be in order to be with you?
what is that?
What is there a certain race? Would you date any race? You open to all ethnicities?
Well, I'm gonna be very honest with you, and this is just my experience because of what I went through as a teenager and as a young person. My own race, which African American, is I've never dated my own race. I've always dated others.
Okay.
And that's Hispanic and white and Arabic and all across the universe. Like, I'm an open book.
Okay.
But if there was an African American guy who fit the criteria and he was, all that, then yeah, I wouldn't be open to it. But I have to be honest. I never dated my own people, but I have my reasons.
Okay. Would that be all? Okay, that's the last question. I want to thank you. So, in other words, race is not a problem as long as they treat you right.
Yeah.
There you go. I got you. And that will be the last question. And I want to thank you so much for doing this interview with me for YouTube and being recorded. And I do believe your story is going to help another girl that's behind that does not have enough strength to stand up and do what you've done today. So I'd like to applaud you and thank you for standing up and trying to help a girl that may be puzzled, and maybe some things you have shared is going to help her say, oh, okay, or I understand. Okay, now I see it's not just happening to me at the job, or I see it's not just happening to me and my family. There is someone out here like me. So I thank you, my sister, as being a true spirit, a two-spirit woman, and also a leader within your community. Because like you, as in I, as in many others, we are tired of our sisters being murdered. So I thank you for trying to be the long arm of love and the band-aid to heal our sisters. But for some reason, they feel as though there is a great area that they go out and do different things and they end up murdered. So we want to let them know that we are here, extending our love to them. And I want to thank you for coming here to extend your love to them, to let them know that they're not alone. And thank you for being on She Speaks. So thank you.
Thank you, Raven, for having me. And I do believe that what you're doing is going to help a lot of girls out there lost. Because I was one of those lost girls. You know, don't forget, it took me 30 years to figure stuff out. Some people, it takes longer than that, and we know who they are. They're celebrities, but they transition after whole families and stuff. So, you know, everybody's journey is different, and we just have to take our time. Don't be in a rush to do stuff to your body that can hurt you, and be patient. You know, that's what the hormones are for. They're going to help you.
Okay. Well, thank you, sis. Thank you, my beautiful sister. And I love you for this, and thank you. And anybody else who want to come on this channel to basically get their storyline, go to Ravenovah@yahoo.com, send me an email. And thank you to my beautiful sister for donating your time and child to help keep one of our sisters or all our sisters out of the ground and sharing your story. Now, if you're a two-spirit woman, you want to share your story on this channel, Ravenovah@yahoo.com, send me an email and stuff, and I'll definitely get back to you and stuff, and we can have the conversation. You can share your stories anonymously. That means I don't want your name, I don't want your location, I don't want to know anything as far as description of you. I want to be anonymous. This way you can share your story and make it be more of a realistic thing, because no one really knows you. Share this video every way you can, like, subscribe, and also if you're a trans attracted man that wants to share your story, hit me an email. If you are a trans man that wants to share your story, hit the email. If you are a cisgender woman that wants to share your story, hit the email, Ravenovah@yahoo.com. Let's have the conversation. I'll be looking for you everywhere. Like this video, share this video everywhere you can. Help me help to try to keep our two-spirit women alive. I love you, and be safe.